chemistry teacher told me I wasn't smart, just pretending to be, by hanging around smarter kids. 14 years later, I'm a doctor. She begged me to help her daughter, and I made sure she regretted ever opening her mouth. If you've ever been underestimated, insulted, or told you'd never amount to anything, this story will hit deep. Smash that like button, subscribe, and get ready for one of the most satisfying comebacks you'll ever hear. Studio microphone, begin story. I forgot all about this story until last night when I was sharing old school memories with some classmates. And as soon as I remembered it, the anger came rushing back like it was yesterday. Because sometimes it's not the bullies in school that damage you most. It's the teachers who are supposed to believe in you. It all started in my sophomore year of high school. I was in AP Chemistry, one of the toughest classes in our already pressure cooker school. We had a massive class size, over 750 students in our grade alone. Top colleges, Ivy League dreams, and high expectations weren't goals, they were assumed. And I was doing everything I could just to keep up. Now, I'm not the smartest person in the room, and I'm fine admitting that. But what I do have is grit. I'm a tactile learner, which means I need to take notes to learn. It's how I survive in academically intense environments. But our teacher, Ms. M, she made that impossible. She didn't let us take notes while she talked. Instead, she'd scribble everything on the board, give us 10 minutes to copy it, then erase it. After that, we were expected to just sit and listen. No writing, no pausing to process, just absorb. I was drowning. Every class felt like I was chasing a train that left 5 minutes ago. Despite pouring in hours every night reviewing, rewriting, teaching myself, and even comparing notes with my smarter friends, 2 of whom were among the school's valedictorians, I could never pull off an A. I scraped by with B+ grades both semesters. And I was devastated. I wasn't lazy. I wasn't slacking. I was putting in everything I had and still falling short. My mom saw me struggling and did what any good parent would do. She arranged a meeting with Ms. M. We sat down, my mom, Ms. M, and me, to ask how I could improve, how I could better meet her expectations. And instead of guidance, she gave me a dagger. "You aren't smart," she said flatly. "You just pretend to be smart by hanging around actually intelligent students like my best friend's names." Her words landed like a gut punch. My mother froze. I just stared at the table. She didn't even say it with malice, just this cold certainty, like she was telling me the sky was blue. We left in silence. I found out later that my mom cried that night. She was heartbroken, not just because of what Ms. M said, but because I had to hear it from someone I was supposed to look up to. But here's the thing about me. I thrive on doubt. Didn't make the tennis team? I trained every day, skipped JV, and went straight to varsity. Too skinny for basketball? I worked on my footwork, defense, and strategy until my size didn't matter. And now, I had a new mission. I took those words, "You aren't smart," and wrote them out by hand. I taped that note above my desk. I stared at it every time I studied. Every late night. Every mental breakdown. Every exam. That sentence became my fire. Fast forward 14 years. I'd made it through college, survived the crucible of med school, and was now deep in my residency, proudly wearing my white coat. I was back home visiting my parents one weekend, and my mom asked me to run to the grocery store. Normal errand. Normal day. Until I saw her. Ms. M. She looked almost the same, just a little grayer, a little slower, but still had that prim, no-nonsense demeanor. And of course, she recognized me instantly. We were in a small, tight-knit community. So when she saw me, she lit up like an old friend. "Oh my goodness, you've grown up so well. What are you doing now?" I gave her a polite smile and told her, "I'm a doctor, finishing my residency." Her eyes sparkled, like she'd discovered gold. That's when it happened. She started gushing about her daughter, how she was trying to get into med school, how competitive it was, how she'd been rejected 2 years in a row. Then, without shame, without irony, she asked if I knew anyone who could help her daughter get an interview. She asked if I'd be willing to make a few calls, maybe write a recommendation, maybe pass along a resume. I felt time slow. The same woman who called me a fraud, who said I wasn't smart, who made my mom cry. Now she wanted me to help her daughter? I could barely keep a straight face. I smiled politely and said, "No." Her face twitched. "Oh, I'm sure someone like you has connections now. Maybe you could at least give her some advice." That's when I broke. I locked eyes with her and said, "I think your daughter would benefit more from the help of someone who's actually intelligent." Not someone who just pretends to be smart by hanging out with intelligent people. Her face turned red. She stammered something, probably an apology or another request, but I wasn't done. Honestly, if I'm not smart enough to be a doctor, then what does it say about your daughter that she can't even get accepted? She stood there, stunned, embarrassed, and very, very silent. I walked away. When I got home, I told my mom the story. She didn't say anything at first, then just smiled. A slow, proud smile. And you know what? I think she was more proud of me in that moment than when I graduated medical school. Because I didn't just prove Ms. M wrong. I buried her words under my achievements, and then made her taste them. Years of frustration, self-doubt, and silent humiliation, all wiped clean with one moment of poetic justice. The same woman who tore down a teenager for trying too hard, now standing in a grocery store, begging that teenager, now a doctor, for a favor. And what did she get? Her own cruel words served back cold, with interest. Sometimes the best revenge isn't loud or violent. It's just being everything they said you couldn't be, and watching them choke on their own judgment. Because success isn't the best revenge. It's the most elegant one. If this story hit you in the gut like it did me, hit that like button and tell us in the comments. What's something someone said you'd never do, and you proved them dead wrong? Subscribe for more deeply satisfying revenge stories like this one. And remember, keep your receipts. One day they might just pay off.